Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to Chaos TV's live coverage of Riot Turkey International Invitational 2. It's a bit of a mouthful, and it is day 7 out of 7. Grand finales day, Copenhagen Wolves going up against Dignitas UK. If you have just joined us, you've missed two pretty awesome games that have gone very heavily in Copenhagen Wolves' hands. So it currently resides at a 2-0 in this best of 5 series. What that means is that Dignitas UK are not allowed any more missteps, not allowed any more mistakes, otherwise they will be getting knocked out here and finishing in second place. They have to win the next 3 games on the bounce or they face going home. So picks and bans coming in: Kassadin, Aatrox, Oriana and Gragas. Fizz is going to get locked out as well from Dignitas UK. Makes a lot of sense. Heavily banning out Kautard this game. We've seen him running Lissandra though, so still on the table, still very much a reliable champion for him to fall back on. Would not be surprised to see that get locked in. However, with focusing Kautard out so much, you're not banning Renekton out, you're not banning Elise out, you're not banning Lee Sin out. 3 very scary champions. Remember, they also banned Caitlyn last time, so that's going to leave Forgiven with Caitlyn, but Xerath has just been banned as well from Copenhagen Wolves, so definitely giving some respect across to Alchemist. 2 first picks are going to be Nitrix taking Elise, and it looks to be Lee Sin on Amazing. Completely what you'd expect from these two teams. Caitlyn's been locked in as well. First pick indeed from Young Buck. So last time was banned, this time has been left open, and no surprises there. That being said though, to be fair, Forgiven's Varus was exquisite. He made very little mistakes and just crushed bot lane. Also seen him in the past running characters like Corki and Ezreal, and is just, if not better, with those champions. So again, the depth of these champion pools is just so big. This is the first time that Zed has been left open, and it will get insta-locked there from Alchemist. So looking likely that it's going to be Zed mid, and Impaler is still pondering over which jungler he would like to lock in. It could very well be another Jarvan. He started very well, was 5-1 at one point, but instead looks as though the jungler is going to be Elise with Renekton at the top lane. Makes a lot of sense again because Young Buck is just such a strong Renekton player. However, deja vu coming in from me, because this is a carbon copy of the first game where Nitrix picked up the Renekton and Youngbuck was like, okay, cool, I'll just take Vladimir again and I'll crush everybody with Vlad. So there's the Lissandra pick for Kautard. It's something that we've seen a lot in the past, and with 2 champions being heavily focused against him, it's no surprises to me at all that Kautard would be picking that champion. Such a strong character for him. On top of that though, let's not even take into account that Kautard loves to play Lissandra. It's a good counter pick against Zed, for the same reason that Kayle is. Instead of having the intervention which makes you invulnerable for a couple of seconds, Kautard can just cast the Frozen Tomb on himself, and that is going to mitigate any of the Deathmark amplified damage that Alchemist will try and lay down on him. So again, it's a very good pick. Or he could go the other way and just say, okay, you've Deathmarked me, how about now you're stunned and you're going to die. So, last 2 picks from Dignitas UK. They have 10 seconds to rack their brains and try and come up with something that could potentially start off this spiral of victories. Looks to be Corki, although they have just switched it over to Ashe, then back to Corki again. So it is going to be Corki, and Fiddlesticks was banned in the first 2 games, I believe. The first game, and was left open in the second game, where it was taken as well. So this time mixing it up with the Fiddlestick support. It is a very strong support, and actually pretty good with Corki, because what Corki really desires in the laning phase is hard CC. That allows him to get off as much armor shred and indeed damage from his Gatling gun, which is his E ability, and also gives him a heat-seeking phosphorus bomb. It's almost impossible to miss that phosphorus bomb when either Caitlyn or Sona are terrified from Fiddlesticks, and of course he gets longer duration on the Terrify per points that he puts in. Meanwhile though, it looks as though they're going to go for a Sona Caitlyn lane, which honestly, as an AD carry main myself, is terrifying to play up against, because if you make any missteps or any mistakes in lane, and overextend, you get so badly punished with the Q coming out, and then the Caitlyn burst damage and harassment, and then the power chord afterwards, and suddenly before you know it, you've lost 50% of your hit points, and you can't do anything for the next few moments. That being said, ladies and gents, we're going to cut to a very quick commercial break so I can go and rest my voice a tiny bit more. I don't want to lose it in this epic potential best of 5 format game. So with about 40 seconds to go, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we rejoin us, we'll be live for game number 3 between Copenhagen Wolves and Dignitas UK. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after this. Hello my lovelies, we are back into the game once again between Copenhagen Wolves and Dignitas UK on Summoner's Rift. And both teams actually starting pretty aggressive here. Dignitas UK running into Copenhagen Wolves jungle with a couple of wards being placed from either team in this bush on the top of a river. So lots of vision, lots of presence from Dignitas UK in particular, which we've seen in the previous 2 games as well. So nothing really to write home about here from them, but a bit of a belated invade, which has been completely spotted from Young Buck. So it's going to be mind games. Are they going to go back out the jungle and try and catch Copenhagen Wolves in the act of counter-jungling? Or are they just going to go ahead and back on off? It looks like the second of those options here. Meanwhile, Copenhagen Wolves just going to be staying on their blue buff. Amazing. Doesn't want to go in for any counter jungling. And you can see Coutard there on Lysandra, just kind of lurking around mid, trying to see if potentially spots a couple of players and gives some all-important information to the side of Copenhagen Wolves. They're having a quick browse on the screen here. It looks as though we're going to have a double lane switch. So pretty much just turning the tables and not doing a great deal, with Copenhagen Wolves running their dual lane at top alongside Dignitas UK. That is going to leave Nitrix on Renekton at bot lane up against Vladimir. So blue picked up from both junglers, and it looks like Impaler is going to be trying to make some early plays here on top lane. Instead, just opting to go into Baron Pit. They're waiting for this ward to be cleared out. So realizes there was a ward placed down, and now Impaler is going to push on in. Question is, will it be successful? Are they going to be able to pick up a kill off this one? Coming around from the side, Yero baiting it out. Samwise has taken a lot of damage though. That being said, Ignite comes down and the barrier as well. Who's going to claim this first blood? There is definitely going to be a kill here. Barrier used from Corki, and Samwise picks up the first blood. So that delayed, patient approach does pay out to be a virtue from Impaler, and that is just the need that Dignitas UK were looking for. Remember, 2-0 down in this best of 5. Copenhagen Wolves are a team. They are like a pit bull. You give them a lead and they're just going to constantly go for the jugular, and they're going to stamp those games out. When I've been casting, I actually said this in chat previously, whenever I've casted Copenhagen Wolves, when they take a lead in a best of 3 or best of 5 format, I have never seen them give up that lead and lose the game. So Dignitas UK with a huge mountain to climb, but they are definitely talented enough to pull this off. That's exactly the start that they were looking for. And just to rub salt in the wounds as well, Copenhagen Wolves and indeed Forgiven's perspective, it was a first blood on Caitlyn, which allowed Corki to get a bit of CS advantage. That being said, he has just recall, and this is going to allow Forgiven to actually catch back on up. So it's going to be double Doran's Blade and also Longsword from Corki compared to just the Doran's and a couple health potions from Forgiven. So when Corki gets back into lane, they may look to try and push the envelope here and snowball this 2 versus 2 top lane before Caitlyn can start to get scary, before Forgiven can get his teeth into those juicy CS at the top lane. Mid laner is a gank coming in. Counter fires off the glacial path. Nice anticipatory cocoon out from Impaler, forcing the flash from Counter. And so therefore that summoner spell is going to be on cooldown. Could very well escalate into Impaler camping the mid lane. Lyssandra's a pretty difficult character to gank because of the glacial path, but it has a very high cooldown. Its cooldown is actually 23 seconds right now from Lysandra. So if they can manage to pop that, plus the fact that if the cocoon comes in midway through, it will also cancel the glacial path. It's quite a scary lane for Coutard now. Gank at top lane from Impaler, not really paying off there. Barrier was used previously, so was the Ignite from Unlimited, but just keeping the top lane on their toes, showing he has constant presence across the map, and trying to just tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, remember First Blood, I can rinse and repeat that, I can get Samwise pretty far ahead. However, Amazing has came up. This can be a 3 versus 3 situation. Cocoon has landed on Forgiven. Lots of burst damage. Not looking too good from Forgiven's perspective. He's going to go down once again. That is the power of double Doran's and Longsword versus a Doran's Blade. He just simply could not be putting out the same amount of damage. And again, Samwise and the top laners managed to pick up a kill for themselves, actually going on to Fiddlesticks. Now, that's not necessarily such a terrible thing, because if Fiddlesticks can get ahead in XP and a couple of items, and get the level 6, the Crowstorm could certainly turn the tide even further in Dignitas UK's side of the court. So, even though you'd like it to go on Samwise or maybe Impaler, it's not a complete catastrophe that Fiddlesticks did get that all-important kill. And that is going to negotiate itself into an early Sightstone from Fiddle. So lots of vision, but more importantly, going to be nice and tanky at that bot lane. Actually selling away to go for Ruby Crystal Doran Shield instead. So using that undo button, here comes Youngbuck actually at bot lane. Himself and Nitrix are trading blows. Hemoplague was used. Dominus was not, however. So Nitrix is going to have the slight advantage in this lane for the next little while. However, Youngbuck does have the Flash and the Ghost available, whereas Ignite was burnt in the process. So Youngbuck's got all the escaping tools in his palm, whereas Nitrix has the hit points advantage. Amazing is going to be lurking around though, looking for some prey. Nitrix does not want to be on that menu card for this evening. No crocodile for you. And he was actually recalling, but he's cancelled it now. As soon as he gets his eyes on Amazing though, I'd expect to see him backing off, or maybe he's going to try the quick fire kill on Youngbuck, realising that he does still have Dominus up. It's going to be difficult to kill him. Meanwhile, mid actually, it's going to be Counterhard falling, does get the kill on Zed, but I'm keeping it at bot lane because Nitrix is going to come in with the Dominus. Here he goes, slicing and dicing, Ghost instantly, Sanguine Pool as well. Also, the Flash is available for Youngbuck, so he's kind of taunting Nitrix here, running circles around him, realising that he should be just fine. and will indeed get back to his tower. So that was a 2 versus 1 in mid, which actually paid out to a 1-1, with Coutard claiming that kill on Zed. So nice play from him. And pretty much dead even on CS, 48 to 46. Blue Steel looking to be coming in from Amazing. Cocoon has landed. He's not level 6 yet, actually, so this isn't looking too good for him. That being said, Unlimited in the right place at the right time does eat a crow. The Dark Wind for his troubles, though. So, the unbiased part of me wants either team to win, but I have to admit, from a spectatorial viewpoint, I really hope Dignitas can pull this one out. I'd love to see all 5 games played in this best of 5, and I'm sure the majority of you watching this right now feel the same way, because these are 2 really good teams. Copenhagen Wolves have had a blinder of the last couple months, and indeed the last couple of games as well. But I feel that Dignitas UK, they're a momentum-based team. If they can start to pull together some big fights and some big engages and connect those dots, they are the kind of team that we've seen previously in this tournament that can snowball small leads into victories. So they are the kind of team that can go toe-to-toe with the Copenhagen Wolves. They've had a good start here. 800 gold advantage isn't necessarily huge, but they've got kills on pretty nice places. Ruby Crystal also from Corky, so surprise, surprise, will be going for that Triforce. Bot lane, Young Buck has been caught out, forced to flash away. He's Amazing from the side. It's one of the first Qs I've actually seen him miss this entire tournament. So the Sonic Wave and the Resonating Strike will not be connecting on Nitrix or Impaler, but now it is going to reside at a 2 versus 2 situation. Meanwhile, at top lane, the Terrify comes out from Fiddle, bit of burst damage on Unlimited, but will be able to just heal himself back up without too many problems. So this is one of the first times that I've seen Forgiven in a lane where he's not dominating. And they say the mark of a truly great player or great team is coming back from deficits. When you're down and out, you're on the floor, can you pick yourself back up? Can you pick the pieces up and start to make plays and indeed pull it back in your favour? And that is the question right now for Forgiven. Yes, he's around equal on CS, but he's definitely behind on gold because, you know, Corky's got the kill, the first blood and the assist, whereas it's a 0 and 2 scoreline for Forgiven. But lots of players starting to converge on top lane from Dignitas UK. They've actually got 3 players up here right now. One of which is Alchemist, who's going to be able to pop through with a death mark. Instantly, Unlimited and Forgiven thinking about recalling, maybe trying to bait something else, because Amazing is round from the side. Crescendo, however, is up. Going to be popping up the Crow Storm, coming in Crescendo as well. This could backfire horribly. Amazing in the right place at the right time. Dragon's Raging Alchemist away from the rest of his team, just isolating. Counter from the side as well. Will be trying to pick up this kill. First kill in this little confrontation goes to Amazing. So a bit too aggressive from Dignitas UK. I can understand why they're trying to punish top lane while they're ahead, but in doing so, if anything, they've just taken that lead and thrown it away. Because Coutard came up and did pick up the kill, which means that in mid, in fact, sorry, didn't pick up the kill, it was Amazing. The kill that Coutard has was in mid against Zed. But Coutard came up in the right place at the right time and forced them away. Really nice play. Bot lane, Young Buck and Nitrix. Young Buck's flashing up red there. His Ghost has just been used, and his flash is still on cooldown for another few minutes. And Nitrix is looking to punish it right now. Sanguine Pool is on availability for Young Buck, so probably don't want to dive too hard. Transfusion again, plus the Hextech Revolver is getting 12% spell vamp, so he's getting that health back pretty quick. Coutard round from the side, Path comes in from the Glacial Path, and the repel is well from Impaler, who then instantly flashes away, I believe. Yes, indeed, the flash was burnt in the process, so they do manage to get that important summoner spell away from Impaler. But wherever the opportunists here, Dignitas UK, see Copenhagen Wolves go down to bot lane and try and force in that mid tower, do quite a big chunk of damage. About 1,144 hit points remaining on mid. Yarrow going up to top has seen himself Unlimited. There are a flurry of wards down in these bushes. So much vision from both teams, and Pela is walking over on top of a ward. Again, this is going to allow Amazing to try a counter gank. Coutard firing in the Lysandra Q. the Ice Shard, which he's actually maxing first, which we've seen him do plenty of times, just for that burst damage. How is Zed going? How is Alchemist negotiating his way through these levels? Well, he's maxing his Razor Shurikens, his Q. Has 2 points in Shadow Slash as well. But at top lane, his tower is being pushed again. So with that kill coming down, Forgiven's now feeling a bit stronger. Does have the BF sword, which is a nice little spike in damage from him. It's not just going to be damage though, it's going to be harassment as well. It's going to be presence in lane, plus the crescendo is up from Sona. So if Yero tries to start charging that Crow Storms, remember it can be interrupted and it will be put on cooldown. They need to be very careful when they try and engage and how they try and engage. Both junglers coming to top lane right now. Amazing's on double golems, and Pala's coming in from the side. Crow Storms has been popped off, and that's exactly what I was talking about before, forcing away the crescendo. Yero takes so much damage, but Impala is here in the right place at the right time. However, Amazing coming around from the side. Can he save his support? No, he can't. And now the re-rotate comes back on. The re-initiate, I should say, as well. Amazing will be picking up the kill alongside Forgiven, who finishes it off nicely with the ace in the hole. So another 1-for-1 trade, but it was a support down for Copenhagen Wolves and the AD carry of Dignitas UK. That is not the trade that they were looking for. And this is going to allow Forgiven to get some free farm in lane, some experience as well, and to try and push this tower down. Samwise is still dead for another 5 seconds. So, yeah, Forgiven wasn't looking too good at the beginning of this game, but thanks in part to Amazing's ganks, he is starting to claw his way back into this game. I feel at some point in this game, if I should hold that thought, because Nitrix and Youngbuck are really going hard on each other. Dominus was popped alongside Hemoplague and the Ignite as well, I believe. Yeah, Nitrix did use that Summoner spell. But I feel at some point, Dignitas UK, they may have some maybe too much urgency. Maybe some desperation plays will come into effect because they know their situation. They know they're 2-0 down. And some teams do suffer with this as well, of trying to force plays that aren't necessarily there. And in doing so, you play yourself out of the situation. That's kind of what happened at top lane. The other way of seeing it is like, yeah, Amazing just had prime positioning, and it was telegraphed as a gank, and he was just there at the right place. But another way of saying it is that Dignitas UK probably could have just kept forcing the lane. They probably could have just got some more farm. They didn't necessarily need to go for that all-in tower dive. Unlimited's taking a pasting from Samwise. The big one comes through, which, as I said previously, is every 4th missile, I believe, is the big one. Missile Barrage being the ultimate from Corki. So how's it looking at bot lane? Lots of teasing, flirtatious play between the two, but as of yet, no kills have gone down. 130 to 140 CS, so by and large pretty even at bot. No one's really taking a resounding lead. No objectives have gone down, so you've definitely seen a slower paced game overall. A lot of that is in part to the fact that we've not had any lane switch ups that have put anybody in a 1 versus 2 situation. But as I say that, top tower has just gone down. Plus the fact that both of the dual lanes were at top as well means that Dragon wasn't really as easy to pick up. Crowstorm comes through from Yero, is going to pick up that kill onto Youngbuck. He's been so close to dying a number of times, but this is going to be an instant retaliation from top lane. Dominus has popped out alongside the crescendo. They're going to be jumping on top of this crocodile. He's very big, slice and dice through. Ace and all as well. Is it going to be enough damage? No, it's not. He's just way too big and that hide is too thick for the bullet to penetrate. So Forgiven will be forcing Renekton back to spawn. Gonna get some more farm right now, but he's gonna get some free damage and indeed may even pick up this top tower, especially as Amazing is coming to their aid right now. So fair enough, you know, lots of towers are now starting to fall down around the 16.5-minute mark, and the Dragon as well. But Copenhagen Wolves have took both top towers down, which is pretty significant. Now Lyssandra's trying her best to just escape from this 3 versus 1 engage. Not going to be possible. But again, Fiddlesticks picking up that kill. So maybe a carry Fiddlesticks is on the horizon here from Dignitas UK. They'd much rather those kills were on Zed or Corki. But a kill's a kill at the end of the day. They are transitioning onto this in a bot tower. Look at how much damage Youngbuck's taken. He does have the ghost, does have the flash as well. Is he going to try and turn this one back around? Evil Plague was used, does get the kill in a 1 versus 4 situation. Beautiful stuff. Amazing from the side. That Dragon's Rage hitting all 3 players. Fiddlesticks is so low right now. Alchemist is trying to pick up the pieces. Will take down Amazing. However, Fiddlesticks is just fallen as well, as is Zed. So just Samwise remains not for long on what looked like a critical situation for Youngbuck. Backfires again into a 4-on-1 trade in Copenhagen Wolves' favour, and this is what I was talking about, just getting a bit too antsy, getting a bit too urgent, a bit too desperate to force plays, and as a result paying with it dearly with 4 lives. So, Nitrix just trying to bully away these creeps right now from Youngbuck, but that's such a good play from Youngbuck. It looked like he was down and out in that position. Still has his ghost as well. Mid lane Coutard is running back. He does have the Zhonya's Hourglass, as does Vladimir, so again, that is another counterplay to Zed. It's what most AP champions will do when they're against the Zed in mid lane, because similar to what I was saying in Champion Select, you have Intervene, for example, on Kayle or Frozen 2, and it completely mitigates all of the death mark damage that DX Alchemist is going to be doing. He jumps in there with the Twin Shadows. Here comes Impaler from the side, and that's exactly what I was talking about. As if to prove the point, as soon as he pops his ultimate, that was a Frozen 2. Now looking to pick up the pieces. Glacial Path will come through. Can Coutard survive this? Yes, he can, with the aid of the Caitlyn. Also firing in the ace in the hole, and Youngbuck picks up the pieces on what looked like a pretty good game from Dignitas UK has suddenly started to crumble before their very eyes. They are 2,000 gold behind, 2 towers behind, could very well soon be 3 towers behind, as all 5 players from Copenhagen Wolves are smashing down this middle inner tower. So that's top and middle towers gone outside the base. A lot of global presence now in Copenhagen Wolves' favour. As I said before, they're like a pit bull terrier. They will go for the jugular. They will escalate these snowball kind of situations in their favour. They will not let up. Give them an inch, they will take a mile. That's pretty much their motto every game that I've cast them on. And they have kills in important places. Forgiven had a really poor opening game in the first 2 or 3 minutes, but now he's well back into the matchup. Has a CS advantage and a kill advantage over Samwise. Bloodthirster and the Zeal also has an Avarice Blade, more than likely going into Static Shiv. We've seen him pick up a lot of times. After that will probably be the last Whisper to cut through the heavy armoured up Renekton and also Elise. There goes the Static Shiv. 1.6k gold on Lysandra as well. Going to be interesting to see. I'd imagine go for Sork Shoes into a Blasting Wand or something similar to that. But only time is going to tell here. No, Needlessly Large Rod, going for more burst damage. Completely understandable why you'd go that way. Doesn't necessarily need the Magic Pen, to be fair. Oh, actually flashing into Terrify on Youngbuck. Again, I'm not too sure. Dragon's Rage comes through and the Crescendo as well. And Copenhagen Wolves are in a 3 versus 5 situation. Dignitas UK looking really strong, but here comes Coutard from the side. How much damage can he do with that newly bought up Needlessly Large Rod? The answer, not a great deal. Vladimir and Amazing have lost their lives in return for Samwise. They're now going to be re-engaging on this one. Nitrix is doing lots of damage. Terrify, Frozen Tube instantly from Coutard. Does not want to take any more damage, but in doing so is forced to use that Zhonya's Hourglass. He's going to come out of that and instantly die. Now Forgiven is all that stands alongside Unlimited, who doesn't have a great deal of mana remaining. Can Forgiven pull this one off with his Static Shift? Going to be 90 countering that in. Picked up 1. Can he go a few better? That red buff is constantly slowing everybody down. Piltover Peacemaker comes in. A beautiful cocoon. Clutch cocoon from Impaler. But here's the ace in the hole. Impaler again just blocking that one out for his buddy. And the Dark Wind coming to the rescue with the silence, but a flash in from Forgiven, who picks up another kill. A passage of exquisite plays from these two teams. I just need a few moments to catch my breath. My lord, that was awesome. Alrighty, I am back. Wowzers, that was awesome. It looked so precarious for Dignitas UK at the very beginning there, when that crescendo came rocking through. But after the crescendo, it was one-way traffic up until Forgiven got into position with that red buff. Really, I can't state enough how awesome that cocoon was from Impaler. Had that not have landed, it could have easily transitioned into another 2 or 3 kills, because Forgiven had the flash up still. in that fight. So imagine Forgiven's running at you, flashes in, and red buff attacks. Probably another 2 kills. So good from Impaler. And this has been by far the closest of these 3 games that we have been spectating thus far. Just a 3,000 gold advantage to Copenhagen Wolves and 2 towers at 22.5 minutes. Now I'm going to look to try and snowball this. Yarrow's been caught. Oh, he's been completely caught out. That's going to be a dead Yarrow, I'd imagine. In fact, will it? Well, do they want to engage off the back of this? Samwise is Valkyrieing in, but there's Kaltard right from the backside. And what was initially Yarrow being caught goes into his AD carry dying. Renekton's coming down from top lane. Don't think it's going to be in time, however. Zed goes in, looking for that kill on Kaltard, also maneuvering himself closer towards his own tower. Now going to be using that Blade of the Ruined King to slow down Young Buck. Unlimited from the side. Forgiven's at top lane though. Cocoon lands again from Impaler, who's already used his ultimate and his Zhonya's Hourglass, so he will be falling down. Nitrix from the side. Remember, Forgiven is not going to play any part in this fight, and he is one of the beefiest players on Copenhagen Wolves. Beautiful crescendo though, locking down 3 players. Young Buck will be going down for the next 40 seconds. Impaler and Nitrix chasing after Amazing. As good as he is, I don't think he can escape from this situation because his Dragon's Rage has a 40-second cooldown remaining on it. Another Cocoon lands from Impaler. He is playing a blinder of a game. Nitrix flashing in, trying to secure this kill. Nice Sonic Wave, resonating strike wave from Amazing, and the safeguard as well. Talk about getting your dancing shoes on. Amazing will live to fight for another day, as Elise picks up that dragon as well. So, my god, this has been such an action-packed match thus far. Absolutely loving it. Hope we get another 2 of these. Alright, well, now we've got a bit of a brief respite coming on with Unlimited clearing out some of these wards. Can just kind of go back into the story of these 2 teams. I mentioned this in the first game, but for those that haven't been watching since then and have just joined us, just to give a bit of history, the last 2 times these teams have met in recent past, and by that I mean the last month and a half, both of those games have gone without fault to Copenhagen Wolves. They won the EUS Challenger Series number 11, 3-0 in the Grand Finals, which is looking like it could happen again here, and the game before then was a 2-0 in the EUS Challenger Series number 10 in the first round. So they've definitely had Dignitas UK's number. And this is all about a grudge match for Dignitas. It's all about a revenge. Can they pull this one back? Can they be the first team that I've casted that has came back from a 2-0 or 1-0 deficit from Copenhagen Wolves? If anyone can do it, it's surely Dignitas UK. But this is a huge engage from Kaltard, going in with the Glacial Path. The Hemo Plague is popped down as well from Youngbuck, lands onto pretty much everyone. Samwise is now joining the fight. Youngbuck will be going down. The Z ultimate as well on Kaltard, instantly using that Frozen Tomb's going to be slowing down everybody. Nitrix is trying his best to escape this one, but Forgiven is so big. Crescendo comes through once again. Here comes the Crowstorm. That Fiddlesticks was fed up pretty hard early on the game, flashing away, juking from the queue. But the damage has already been done. Forgiven on full hit points right now. Samwise is trying his best to push back the onslaught. And that's going to be a 1-for-3 trade in Dignitas UK's favour. 3 players flashing up red. But the important part is they did not die. So, Zed for Youngbuck, Amazing, and Kaltard. Really nice fight from Dignitas UK. Especially considering that Samwise was a few seconds late to the party. So, to take stock of the game, 26 minutes on the board, 1,000 gold lead to Copenhagen Wolves, which is completely negligible at this point. It means nothing. The important parts are objectives. 5-3 in terms of Copenhagen Wolves, which again is not a great amount of difference. Baron is up and available to both teams. Both teams are more than strong enough to go for it. The only thing standing in their way is each other. So it's going to come down to that ward control, the Baron dance, as so many casters and spectators call it. Right now, Copenhagen Wolves have got some pretty nice vision control over the map. Plenty of wards placed down, so did Dignitas though, especially as they're starting to congregate around the red buff area. Yarrow stood on top of a ward, trying to steal away that red, not going to be happening, does get the fear on out. Amazing though. but Amazing is too strong. Ace in the hole comes through. Impaler has been hit in the backside. Going to be a small engage here. In fact, it could actually turn into something bigger as we have two separate fights kicking off. I'm going to keep it on Yero right now. He's being chased from Amazing. Impaler's there as well. Here comes Youngbuck. Nitrix from the side and Samwise as well. Suddenly, it has become the numbers game in Dignitas UK's favour. Dragon's raging away. Crescendo any second now. Unlimited lands on 3. 1-for-1 trade is going to be the support for the top laner though. Zed's gone down and now they're going to be engaging on Corki. He's very low hit points. He's got his double kill. Can he go any better? Forgiven's coming in from the side. Kautar's going to be falling as well. And it's down to a 3 versus 3 in terms of deaths. Down to the 2 versus 2. Nitrix is running away. Here comes a cult over Peacemaker, I should say. I'm stumbling all over my words. And that's going to be a 3 for 4 trade. My goodness, this game. But the important part is that even with these trades, the objectives are not falling. So yes, you're getting kills, yes, you're getting some XP, yes, you're getting some farm, but Baron is still up. The same towers that were up a few moments ago still stand. So you can take these trades all day, every day. If they're not transitioning into objectives, they're pretty much mute. The only thing right now is alarm bells will be beginning to ring for Dignitas, because Forgiven is picking up a big bulk of kills, 8 and 2. I was expecting him to go for the Last Whisper next because there's quite a lot of armor on the side of Dignitas UK, but instead looking for that Infinity Edge. In fact, he's going to go for the Mercurial Scimitar first. That's an interesting pickup for ADs. It's not something we see a great deal of. So, Mercurial Scimitar and a pickaxe. Whereas, having a quick look around the rest of the board, going to be Zhonya's Hourglass, Abyssal Scepter on Vladimir, on Youngbuck, and for Kautar's Lissandra, Rabadon's Deathcap, Zhonya's Hourglass. So that's a lot of damage coming out, a lot of AP damage coming out right now from the side of Copenhagen Wolves. On the flip side though, I'm running through these because nothing's really happening. I will obviously jump into a team fight if it kicks off. We kind of got trench warfare, both teams occupying the entirety of the map. Regardless though, Renekton Spirit Visage, Sunfire Cape and a Warden's Mail, so really building defensively as you'd expect. 99% of the time Renekton will go just full tank. And Zed has gone Blade of the Rune King, Last Whisper, Hextech Revolver, Triforce and Last Whisper on Corki. So, now that we're up to speed on what's been happening in this game, both teams are starting to pull together once again, all 10 occupying this mid. I don't think Yero realised he stood right on top of a ward, looking to try and get some big plays from the side, looking for that big crow storm. Not going to be happening, has been forced away from Amazing. Meanwhile, Youngbuck's taking a lot of damage alongside Samwise, so the harassment is pretty brutal, but gotta be said, Youngbuck's going to be happy with that trade because he is going to get his health up much faster than Samwise would have with the Sona. But with a creep wave pushing, Samwise going to get some of that Bloodthirster, sorry, that Vampiric Scepter in effect. Working forward. Dragon has been already taken down pretty much from Copenhagen Wolves, and Dignitas UK looking to push the envelope through mid. Need to be careful though, because Glacial Path can suddenly fire in. Ace in the hole lands on Alchemist. Here comes a Glacial Path. Oh my god, Kautar has instantly been terrified. Going to be popping into his frozen tomb though, and Corki completely left by his lonesome gets neutralized almost instantaneously. That's going to leave Forgiven again on almost full hit points, who's chasing after Alchemist and Yero. Amazing jumps in with the safeguard, not quite able to land the Sonic Wave and Resonating Strike, but that's still a 2-for-0 trade, which could transition nicely into a potential Baron. Youngbuck's pushing Nitrix back right now, and in the meantime Amazing is looking for a kill on Yero. They're now starting to isolate Alchemist. Not looking good. Crowstorm comes out. Amazing will be dying. Can they turn this one back around? Now Youngbuck is chasing after Eurostar, completely leaving Alchemist, who's being almost killed by Unlimited. Not too sure he's got the damage, but here comes Lissandra from the bottom and the ace in the hole as well. And Yero is somehow still alive. By the skin of his teeth, he's being chased forever by Youngbuck, who's laughing in the all chat there, while the rest of his team pushes down top. Finally, Yero does get neutralized. So, top tower is already around 50% hit points, but they're actually going to be going in this 2 versus 3, and it's worked out for them because instantly Kautar goes down. He didn't actually use his on Sonny's Hourglass, so was not expecting that burst damage. They get the shutdown as well on Forgiven, and somehow Nitrix survives by the skin of his teeth. He's got 30 hit points remaining, nearly got finished off from the minions, which would have been a bit of an embarrassment. Impaler's been caught out though from Youngbuck and Unlimited, who then pull themselves back. Really nice play from Dignitas UK, not only managing to keep their top inhib tower alive, but in doing so get the shutdown gold and 2 key kills on 2 of the carries of Copenhagen Wolves. So, Last Whisper has been finished off on Caitlyn, as expected. It's just a must-have item on pretty much every AD carry in the game. I can't think of too many reasons why you wouldn't pick up Last Whisper at some point. But actually Dignitas are going for this Baron, and yes, there's 10 seconds left on Forgiven's timer, but this is risky, because we've seen Amazing pull off some exquisite Baron steals. He's going to be going in here any second now. Can he pull this one off? If CW get this Baron, it's going to be huge, but just in the nick of time, they destroy that ward, not allowing him to safeguard through. Dignitas UK have jumped on top of that advantage in terms of just raw players. After Coutard and also Forgiven were killed, Youngbuck has now just been picked up as well. Dignitas UK on a tear. This is what I'm talking about. It's all good and well getting kills, but you have to transition into objectives, and that's exactly what Dignitas UK just did. Youngbuck's dead for 45 seconds. This could be the moment where Dignitas UK try and force home their advantage and potentially get an inhib. It is going to be difficult though. There's a lot of creep wave on the side of Copenhagen Wolves. They've got the Q, the Ice Shard from Coutard, and also the Piltover Peacemaker from Forgiven. So you just saw there, pretty much the entirety of that creep wave died. They're going to be going in hard hit though. I'm not too sure about this because they're popping a lot of ultimates in the process. Youngbuck's got 20 seconds left to respawn. However, they've done enough damage and they've harassed enough to pick up this tower. Amazing is now safeguarding back to Forgiven, and they do take that secondary tower in mid. But they popped quite a lot of summoners, quite a lot of ultimates in the process, and now Alchemist is going to get taken down from Copenhagen Wolves. This is the danger. If you use so much, you're then very vulnerable to counter plays, and that's what Copenhagen Wolves did. Realize they have the hypermobility from Coutard, and also all the lockup effects that he brings to the table. With Alchemist being dead for 40 seconds, this is going to be pretty scary right now for Dignitas UK to hold off. So let's take stock. What summoners are down? Which ultimates are down right now? Dominus is down, and also the Flash is down from Nitrix. So he's not going to be able to really engage hard anytime soon. On top of that, Crowstorm is off availability alongside the Ignite. And of course, Zed is dead for 10 seconds. So Copenhagen Wolves going to be moving down to bot lane, picking up buffs, picking up neutral creep camps on the way there. Now going to take down this tower. Not looking too good right now from Impaler, who's forced to repel up. He has been caught though. Ignite, ace in the hole, and a very dead Spider. So again, just when they regain some kind of composure, they lose a player for 50 seconds. This is going to be brutal. The Cocoon was a big engaging tool right now. It pretty much locked them down to allow Yero to come in with a Terrify. And without Impaler being there, which is one of their main tanks, this is so difficult for Copenhagen, Dignitas UK I should say, to lose from this position. I think they should be able to get this inhib eventually, and once the inhib is dead, they're going to be able to roam to the likes of top lane. Insect maneuver from Amazing. Crescendo comes through as well. Unlimited's chasing after them with Forgiven. Forgiven's red buff and raw damage output is way too strong for Yero to deal with. Here comes the Frozen Tomb on Nitrix, and I was just saying before, it's very difficult for Dignitas UK to pull themselves back in this position. They've lost another 2 players who have big death timers on them, and this could very well pull itself into a 3-0 for Copenhagen Wolves unless Samwise can pull off the play of a lifetime. Not going to happen. We're so close to killing Forgiven though. You got to give him props for that at least, but he has weakened them enough to force Copenhagen Wolves away. What did they kill? An inhib and a Nexus Tower. That's still, I'm not going to say catastrophic, but it's bad news for Dignitas UK. They do manage to breathe a bit longer in this best of 5 though. So in that sense, Samwise did his job. 35 seconds going to be recalling to Forgiven. 35 seconds on Samwise death time was what I was about to say. So it's not too long. He will be back up, and we will have more team fights on the horizon. Just answering a question in chat while we have a bit of a lull. I'm not Joe Miller. I get called him a lot. I think it's because we're both from the north of England and we have similar accents, but I am not him. Although I'm flattered you'd think so, because he's an awesome caster. But I'm Metis, not Joe. Just to answer a few of those questions. Regardless though, again, we've reached this period in time and it's really anybody's game. I know the Copenhagen Wolves are looking a certainty in terms of advantage, but what you need to remember at 37, nearly 40 minutes indeed as the case is right now, the death chambers are 40 to 60 seconds, around that vicinity. So if you do get a clean ace, if Dignitas UK were to just ruffle stomp through and get a clean ace, they could actually finish the game. If they're strong enough to tank towers, they can finish. It's not game, set and match just yet. It is looking very one-sided, it is looking pretty grim right now for Dignitas UK, but they do have a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. The only thing is it going to turn out to be a train bearing down and run them all over? That's yet to be seen, but they at least have that glimmer of hope to hold on to. So, probably a case that both teams are fairly happy just to keep it this way for now, until Baron respawns. As you can see, the top left of your screen, 1 minute 40 remaining on that Baron timer. So Corky can get some free farm at bot lane. The ward coverage right now in Baron doesn't mean anything, because it's not a threat. They don't need to try and force this vision wall. However, they do need to be careful, sub 1 minute, about getting some vision down. That's when you should start to move towards Baron. If Copenhagen Wolves are disappearing for more than 5-10 seconds, you have to assume they're going to Baron when it's up. And that's the problem Dignitas UK currently face, because their bottom inhib is dead. Super minions are going to be pushing through there, and they lack one of their Nexus towers. So if they don't deal with that pressure, they will actually end up losing their second Nexus tower potentially. Nitrix is actually going to be going in. With a minute left on Baron, he's taking a lot of damage because they're focusing on Lysandra, who can instantly pop one off. This team fight is going horribly wrong right now for Dignitas UK. They felt a bit of desperation. Nice mechanics though from DX Alchemist, going to keep him alive a few seconds longer. Ace in the hole comes out, lots of damage, and actually, good guy in Paler sacrifices himself for the support. Not necessarily what you wanted. 3 for 0 trade right now. Yes, they just picked up the kill on Amazing, but he's given enough time to the rest of his team to kill the second inhib in mid. This Nexus tower is not going to survive long. I would love for Samwise to pull off a ridiculous quadra kill right now, but it's just oh so unlikely. Here comes the Crow Storm, and that is going to be the Nexus falling, and your champions for the Riot Turkish International Invitational 2 are going to be Copenhagen Wolves 3-0. The last 3 times these teams have met, it has gone 8-0 collectively to Copenhagen Wolves, who still remain the thorn in the